Hey everybody. I just wanted to share a quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza that I heard tonight. I'd heard it before, but it's so profound every time I was doing dishes tonight, and it just like stopped me in my tracks, and I had to text it to myself. And the quote is, "To truly change is to think greater than your surroundings." And that is so beautiful. That's like everything, to think greater than where you're at. It's like we just get, and I say we, but I'm talking about myself. I was never taught. I don't understand or even know if like how many people were actually taught that they could be anything they wanted to be. I think that's a myth that we used to be like taught that in the 90s. It is getting worse, unfortunately, now, as in terms of, I think, how we're supposed to be. It seems like the labels are expanding and therefore like the parameters are narrowing, which is ironic. But it's like Barbie was taught that she could be everything she wanted to be, like the actual doll. But I was never taught that. And I don't really know anyone that's like, oh, yeah, reach for the stars. You can get there. You know, it's like we're just taught to be everything that we see, and we're taught to follow people who overall just kind of seem unhappy. And it's like we're the blind leading the blind with the best of intentions. And when I think about 2018, and that was really the year that my life started to change. And I've said that before as well, because that was the year that I came out on the other side of an attempted murder, and I began to live and really look at myself from this perspective of who am I and what exactly do I want to do? Can I like answer that question for myself and think for myself? And the smallest things can feel profound because of that quote. I am thinking and acting greater than my situation, my surroundings. Like, I've tried in the past several years, I've lost and maintained 40 pounds, and I still have 10 pounds to go. But I mean, wow, I never thought I could lose a pound. And now I've lost 40 of them. I've tried tofu and I love it. I've tried garbanzo beans, love them. I love beans. Didn't even know that was possible because I always like despised beans. I even like refried beans. Um, Black beans, love them. I eat vegan breakfast and vegetables every day. That's been kind of instrumental in my weight loss. And I was in high school the first time I heard of people being vegan, because, it was like always vegetarian, that I thought, you were eating like the standard American diet or you were a vegetarian. And then I heard about these people called vegans. And I was like, wait a second, you don't eat dairy. So you can't even eat a cheese pizza. I mean, what can you eat? Salads. That's what I thought. But eating vegetables in the morning has like changed my life. Trying tofu and then being like, wow, this is kind of interesting. I actually like the taste of plain tofu, but what if like I pull up a video, trying like chickpeas? I love them. Almond milk. Oh my God. So many like amazing meatless dishes that I didn't even know existed. Coconut water. I love coconut water. There was a few months, about a year and a half ago. Let me see. I'd really have to think about it. It was like early spring, so it was still pretty cold. Where I would set my clock for 5 a.m. and wake up and walk until about 6:15, and I would just kind of walk laps like from my house to the backside of like the closed grocery store, and I would just kind of walk in this big circle as the sun rose. And on one hand, that's nothing, but I never thought it possible to be someone who one time, even one day of their life, woke up before sunrise, like on my own accord, because I wanted to like move my body as the sun rose. I didn't think that was possible. It's like when I say I had um, no control over my mind, that's what it was. I didn't know it was possible for everyone or me to think beyond just where I was, you know. I was miserable. I didn't know how to get out of that deep unhappiness, and I didn't feel like I fit in absolutely anywhere. And it was funny, when I was a perfectionist the first half of my life, I felt just so out of place. Like in every room I went into, I just felt deeply uncomfortable within my body, my mind, the setting, really whatever it was. And then when I got in the drug scene, it helped because my mind was altered. But people would tell me all the time, like, you don't belong here. They, towards the end, they didn't tell me as much, but I would still hear it from time to time that I seemed kind of like out of place, because I guess I was always, I don't know, philosophical or something, or I still had some hope left. I don't know what it was, but it's like I never fit in anywhere. And that wasn't the setting or the situation. It was how I perceived myself. I couldn't ever fully escape myself to the necessary degree to get to a place of comfort, because my mind was like this cage in these confines. And just grasping the possibility that I can do something, I can try something new, like a food, or just a small thing, walking to a sunrise. And it can be a small thing, but it will feel life changing and profound, because it is. You know, that was something that I never thought possible. And then when you do it, it's like, wow, I can do this thing, you know, because I said I can do it. And it wasn't like that I didn't have the control over myself. It was that I didn't love myself enough to hold myself to um, a standard of like wanting to really try to reach for anything that felt like peace. And I was looking at the lake as I was walking my dog today, and I noticed it. And I looked at the way the sun was like hitting the lake. It looked like there were like these floating like strips of gold over the lake, and it was just so beautiful. And I was like, wow, that's what life is, you know, when you have to like force yourself sometimes to stop and look at it, and to really appreciate it, because we get used to what we know. But sometimes it takes like something profound, like feeling like your life isn't guaranteed from one moment to the next. But the thing is that it doesn't have to take something profound. You can like just stop yourself dead in your tracks and like look at the beauty and how awe-inspiring it is, and like the majesty of everything, of a lake. And no matter who you are, you can like go outside of your home and just like look in any direction, look up to the sky. It's beautiful too. Yeah, that's why I take pictures of the clouds. I'm like, sometimes I feel like, and this might sound literally insane, but sometimes I feel like clouds are trying to like communicate something, or there's like a pattern to them almost, or a design. Um, you know, and these videos, yesterday I made a video, like I got this off my chest about Elon Musk and kind of my confusion and just fear. And I didn't want to, for a long time, make that video, because I don't want to make videos that are negative or like kind of stewing in this fear state. But at the end of the day, I feel like I had to get that off my chest and express it, because it wasn't about putting out negativity to the world. It was like about getting that negativity out of me. And I do feel like a little bit lighter after saying that, even though it was like, you know, kind of heavy. But that's why I did the soft white underbelly in what was that, a few years back, because I didn't really know actually why I was doing it. I assumed it was just to share my story, but also to, like, you know, hopefully help someone in some way who stumbles across it. But I didn't really understand why. I just knew I had this drive to reach out to Mark, this desire, and to see if I could be interviewed. And I was like, well, I have a story, you know, and I have this desire to reach out to him, so I'm going to. But I think the reason why I was so called to do that was because I had to, at that time, have somebody push me to speak. And it's just not something that it comes easily to me. Like, expressing myself, actually taking that final step of like expelling thoughts and words and perspectives. And with Mark, it's like once I committed to it, it's like, wow, I had to follow through with that. And like, even with these videos, like, I get so like red. And that's just, it's, first of all, it's kind of a natural just talking to the camera, although some people it is very natural for them to do. And it's not natural for me. But it's like when you're talking to yourself, it's like you don't um, have anyone to feed off of or to mold yourself to. You know, it's just you. And that final step of acceptance is big for me. So yeah, I just wanted to share that as I continue to like push myself. You know, I just wanted to share that Joe Dispenza quote because it's true. You know, that's where and I feel like now that I'm talking, I don't know the quote verbatim, but you know, that's how you change and you grow, is you just do something, and no matter how small it seems, you know, it's as big as it can be if you just when you do it, whatever it is that you do, that was the greatest thing that you could do, when you like consciously say, hey, I'm going to take this step in this direction and try something new. I mean, it's everything, and it changes your life because it changes you. It's like you are now a person who's not too afraid to try tofu, or not too afraid to hold yourself to a standard of like eating a vegetable in the morning, or going for a walk, or actually getting out of bed when you set your alarm clock. And that's life, you know? And it doesn't matter if we weren't taught it before, like we teach ourselves. So, y'all have a good night.